Well, with that, we are, of course, very, very focused on earnings this morning. And IREDA is the next company on our radar. Stock's been down almost 5% since the open on the back of what looks like a bit of a weak Q1 print. Mr. Pradip Kumar Das, Chairman and Managing Director at Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, is with us now. Mr. Das, thank you very much for joining in. Actually, I want to start, before we talk about growth, I want to start with the asset quality pressure. Some of it happened because of your loans to Gensol Engineering, which you had to recognize as NPA. But I think there was one more account. So can you just take us through whether this is just a one-off with two very specific accounts, or is there some other concern, larger concern building up on asset quality?
Yeah, very good morning and thank you for having me here. First of all, the NPA, particularly what we are talking about, which is grown up, out of the total NPA, as you have already said, Gensol. So Gensol, the market is well aware of it, and that is purely because of the promoter-related matters rather than anything to do with IREDA or with respect to the sector. Second, the other group what you are talking about, that is not now, that is way back of 1920 of a group, and they were quite badly affected by the Andhra government decision to dissolve the PPA. And there was a High Court stay on not taking any coercive action and not to recognize it NPA, but we had made enough provision since 1920 onwards. And if you see, roughly 1,450 and odd incremental is there in NPA, whereas our provision has gone up only 360, and this provision is on account of one account, that is of Gensol. So as far as the sector is concerned, I don't think there is any major issue. And Andhra government's decision, which is already now, it's a history now. And the group is working out, and there is a proposal in pipeline. So I cannot divulge on the proposal on this matter. But simply I can tell that in last 38 years, we have financed 1.62 lakh crores. And our cumulative write-off is 135 crores. So that speaks about the command and control of...
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Sir, just a quick follow-up question. Two-part question. First, if you could tell us that if these are isolated events, then your NPA, which shot up to 4% in Q1, on a full-year basis, what is the range that you will work with? And this Andhra issue, which impacted one particular customer, was it a customer-specific legal issue that's playing out in the courts? Or could it impact your other exposure to Andhra as well? I mean, other entities that you're lending to in Andhra?
So by and large, those who are having exposure in Andhra, they have all impacted. But the bigger groups who are having multiple activities and all, they could manage to sell through that. So those who are groups completely concentrated on larger accounts in Andhra only, they were badly affected, and it is one of that. And we do not have major account as such, which we are envisaging that in the time to come. And look at 1920, we had double-digit NP of 10. And we came down to almost below 1 in the last 4.5 years. These four also we are confident in the time to come. And it's just this quarter it has come. And we are confident to sort it out. And as I said, if our cumulative write-up in last 38 years is only 135 crore against 1.62 lakh crores of financing, that to new and emerging technology handling, so we are quite confident. It is just a matter of...
So where will your NPA levels come back down to, sir, by, say, Q2, Q3?
You are asking me what will be the next quarter NPA?
No, for the full year also. If you could just give us some sense, because you're saying these are aberrations, these two events. So full year, should we expect 2% NPA, 2.5%, less than 2%?
Exact figure, it will not be appropriate for me to tell. Now, I can tell you that Gensol matter already IRP has been appointed. And it's a vehicle which we had financed, and we had financed for 5 years. Many of the vehicles, 3 years has been paid and 2 years has been repaid. So balance period, if you see, in a vehicle, the life is 10 years and the battery is 6 years. And our loan was 5 years. If you look at the moment the IRP appointment has been made, and if you look at the IREDA management's approach to handle this transaction, is quite appreciable. Because we're the first lender who approached to the NCLT and took the approval from NCLT to appoint IRP. And to go ahead, because our intent is to do it, because we understand there is huge good economics in the sector and business model. There is nothing wrong what we have envisaged so far. So therefore, it is a purely promoter-related issue. So once we take back the control of the assets and we can rework to again engage other agency or even outright disposal of that. But we do not envisage any major dent in this kind of assets.
What about any major fraud, sir? Because this hetero renewable energy, there's a small fraud that's been detected or there, 8 crores, I think so. The street is a little bit skeptical on this. You believe that, most of these untoward or one-offs are already there, already declared? Or, are you getting a little bit nervous about the book?
No, first of all, we are not at all nervous. See, the fraud in the banking industry is not new. And for IREDA, probably it is not that much. So that is the reason when I'm talking again and again, even 38 years, our only cumulative write-off is 135 crore against financing of 1.62 lakh crores. So despite all these stray cases, we have managed to sell through this. See, what is happening in this fraud, one case what we have already reported at JT Road. And maybe, you see, we have post this Gensol issue. In fact, it is a huge blessing in disguise for the team now, the quite good learning, and all the accounts we are sanitizing and scrutiny, review, monitoring has been tightened. So our project monitoring has been strengthened quite a lot now.
All right. I'll tell you what, so the problem is you did a QIP, right? And investors were not seeing these sort of results coming. And that's why some investors are a little bit jittery that why all this has come about after that. So that's why, the investor community is a little bit jittery. Let's keep that aside. Let's get to a few numbers. What about the book, the growth? What kind of growth can we work with? And what kind of NIM should we be working with for the remainder of this year?
If you look at the NIM, we are improving gradually. And the borrowing cost is also gone down. So we are quite confident. We have got 54 EC sanction. Definitely, we are targeting to buy to the tune maybe around 4,000-5,000 if we can get. Then around 12 to 15 basis points of average cost reduction is going to happen. That is for sure because we're waiting for this for quite a long time. Since 4.5 years, post by joining the company, I used to pursue. Finally, we have got the approval yesterday, and we are grateful to finance minister for this.
Yes.
And probably we should have got this much before. So this is a sector, and IREDA as a company working on new and emerging, we do not have any kind of specific benefit. But today in the country, we do not have defined green taxonomy.
Yes,
by doing 100% green, we are not getting benefit.
Okay,
Mr. The investors' concern as far as QIP is concerned. See, when we did the roadshow for QIP, the Gensol matter was already in. And post Gensol, we have done the QIP and it was quite successful. And we are confident that once we have the investor meet and interactions, the kind of clarification what I'm giving now, once it is communicated them well, and I don't think there will be any kind of doubt.
Okay, so can we get some numbers now, please, on margin? Can we get the net interest margin number, the final margins for Q1, and what your expectation is? Also, you've been eligible for the 54C bonds, I think. So overall, what is the decline in cost of funds? What is the margin expectation for this year?
And also, sir, if you're giving us numbers, just give us the growth outlook as well. Is the growth sustainable?
Yeah.
Numbers we're looking at, I think on that 54 EC, you mentioned that 12 to 15 basis point cooling off in cost of borrowing. So I think that's out of the way. Give us a guidance on margins and is the growth sustainable? Please go ahead.
If you take out this NP and other things, our growth is phenomenal. Not only now, 21 quarters continuously. And we are confident the way the sector is growing, we are going to get the market share what we have enjoyed in the earlier. If you look at the already almost 14 gigawatt of capacity addition has happened in the country against annual capacity addition of 29.9 gigawatt last year. Right. So what in a year the country did, in quarter it is already been done. So the speed for 50 gigawatt of bidding every year, 50 gigawatt addition in a sense by the MNRE, that is already in the place. So we are going to have this kind of momentum what we had in the past. We do not have any doubt in that.
Okay, we wish you the best of luck. Thank you for joining us and answering all those questions, sir. Appreciate it.